he claimed to be divine. Is this claim true? How can you know for sure, or at least how can we analyze it to see in which way you can come to a certitude that it makes sense to believe the divinity of Christ, over and above all of the other arguments we have presented in this series? One thing is certain: no other founder of religion has ever been the object of prophecy. Before Buddha or Muhammad were born, nobody knew anything about them. People believed them because they chose to believe, or because they found it advantageous to believe, or because they were forced to believe, whichever the case may be. In the case of Jesus, it's different. He made a claim that was unique, unparalleled, almost outlandish. He claimed to be the Son of God, therefore divine, equal to God. Now, his enemies, the Sanhedrin and the Jews, they knew that Jesus had meant it, not as a parable, but as a reality, that he was indeed the Son of God. And the St. John's Gospel, chapter 19, tells us the Jews sought to kill him because he said that God was his Father, thus making himself equal to God in nature. We have a law, and according to that law, he ought to die, the Sanhedrin said, because he made himself equal to God. That's a fundamental aspect of the whole argument about the divinity of Jesus, because he had said publicly that he was divine. His enemies took his word for it, believed that he meant it, of course disagreed with him, and because of that claim, he was taken to be crucified. His enemies admitted his claim of divinity, but of course rejected it. When he said, "I and the Father are one," they were about to stone him, because they said, you being a man, make yourself equal to God. So this point is very clear. His enemies understood him well. Jesus never said, "You misunderstood me." He could have avoided being stoned easily by saying, "Sorry, you misunderstood me. What I meant was, I'm one with the Father in purpose, just as you are." No, he maintained his affirmation that he was the Son of God. He claimed the power to forgive sins, which is a divine power. And even he delegated the power to forgive sins to his apostles, which is unique in the history of founders of religion, when he gave them, after the resurrection, that power to forgive sins. But now, the point I want to make today is this claim, that these are the things he said, but is this claim true? Or is it false? I insist on this point. It is no small claim. You see, anybody can say, "I'm a prophet of God. I received a revelation from the Almighty." Anybody can say that. And you have to take his word for it, or her word for it. But if somebody comes to you and says, "I am the Son of God, I am divine," now he better have a good proof. He must have something to say to add to this, apart from prophecies, etc. Important point. He could not have been mistaken about it. Either he meant it or he didn't. Either his claim is true or it is false. It can't be true for me and false for a Buddhist, a Hindu, or a Muslim, and both at the same time be true. That cannot be. It is one or the other. If Jesus Christ, upon claiming to be divine, was telling the truth, then every single person in the world should follow him. But if, upon claiming to be the Son of God, he lied, or he was out of his mind, or whatever other reason, it was not a true claim, then nobody should follow him. Let's analyze this in more detail. Suppose for a moment that Jesus' claim of divinity was true. Hallelujah! We have found him. Via veritas vita, the way, the truth, the life. We don't have to search anymore. But if his claim was not true, then Christianity is the biggest hoax in history. We have been fooled all along. That's something to be investigated, especially in these days when secularism and godlessness reign supreme in our Western world. Let us suppose now, for the sake of the argument, as we analyze it, that the claim that Jesus made is actually false. If the claim is false, either he knew that it was false, therefore he was lying, deceiving people, or it was false and he did not know that it was false. He was out of his mind. He was demented. He was sick. Because nobody makes a mistake in this area. If you are a God, you know you are a God. There's no mistake about this. Either he was lying or he was out of his mind. Let's analyze the first alternative. Suppose that Jesus, upon saying that he was the Son of God, he wasn't. He was lying. Let's analyze the possibility. First of all, why does one lie? We lie. We are sinners. People lie, some more than others. Usually people lie for 4 basic reasons. We lie to get out of trouble. We get ourselves into difficult situations and we lie to the cops, we lie to the judges, we lie to our families, we lie to the boss. That's the first reason why we tend to lie. The second reason is we lie to acquire material benefit. Like you sign a fake check, or you embezzle money from your company, or you pretend to have what you don't have in order to fool the bank, or to whatever. People do commit sins like this, crimes like this. Other times, people may lie because you want to acquire prestige. So you go on the internet and you buy a diploma of engineering, it costs you how many dollars, and you hang on your wall to pretend to be an engineer or a theologian or a scientist or whatever. You know it is a lie, but it makes you feel good about having the diploma there. Others may lie because they want to feel good about themselves. The chap who every morning when he goes to shave, he sees himself in the mirror and he sings a church song like "How Great Thou Art" or something like that. Or some people may lie to assist a friend, to help somebody in trouble. There are many ways in which humans can lie. Now let's apply this criteria and see if it makes sense with Jesus' claim. A simple cursory glance at Jesus' life will show that none of these reasons apply to him. He could not possibly be lying. Let's see. Suppose he lied to get out of trouble. To get out of trouble? He got into trouble by making the claim of divinity. He was doing fine as a carpenter in Nazareth, earning his living in a decent way, when he came up with this idea of being the Son of God. He did not get out of trouble. He got into trouble. And what a trouble. Therefore, we can say that if he lied, it was not to get out of trouble. Not this reason. It was something else, whatever it was. Take, for example, the second possibility, that he lied to obtain material gain, as people do when they do dishonest dealings with others. What material gain did he obtain? Nothing. He lost everything he had by claiming to be the Son of God. He lost everything. Even his clothes he's lost. He was hanging on a cross, half naked. There was nothing to gain. If he had been lying, he would have said, you misunderstood me, or I lied, please don't kill me. Not at all. He remained true to himself, faithful to the end. So, nobody can say he was lying to obtain material prestige, because he lost everything he had and yet remained true to his word.